There was a time when leaving home felt so natural that you never even thought about it. You opened the door, you went to work, to school, to visit someone, to take a walk without a destination. There wasn't a constant conversation inside your mind. You were simply living until something began to change. It didn't happen overnight. It was so quiet that you barely noticed it. When fear appeared, maybe it started after a difficult experience, a panic attack, a moment of deep sadness, a loss, a traumatic event, or simply an anxiety that began to grow in silence. From that moment on, leaving home never felt the same again. You began imagining everything that could go wrong. What if I lose control? What if I feel sick in front of everyone? What if no one can help me? Every time you thought about going outside, your body reacted before your thoughts did. Your heart started racing, your breathing changed, your hands became sweaty, and the front door suddenly felt much heavier than before. All at once, the hallway leading to the door seemed longer than it had ever been. When your world began to grow smaller, then came the first excuses. Not today, tomorrow will be better. I don't feel like it. It's not worth going out. At first, you only avoided certain places. Then some gatherings. Later, phone calls, visits, crowded spaces. Little by little, your world began to grow smaller. The walls of your home stopped being just a refuge. They also became your confinement. And although staying home brought you relief for a moment, that relief came with a price. Going outside became harder every single time. The prison the mind creates. Sometimes, fear is no longer out in the street. It lives in the story your mind begins to tell. You start wondering how other people see you, whether they'll notice your anxiety, whether they'll judge your appearance, the way you speak, the way you walk. And when staying home is no longer an option, your eyes find refuge in the ground, not only to avoid other people's gaze, but also because, for a brief moment, looking down makes every step feel a little safer, while inside, your mind struggles not to lose control. And step by step, you somehow keep moving forward. You may even begin to believe that people remember mistakes that only you are still carrying, that they'll discover a version of you that you still haven't been able to forgive. Without even realizing it, every glance feels like criticism. Every silence feels like rejection. Every trip outside feels like a risk, until home is no longer just a home. It becomes the only place where you feel safe. But what once seemed to protect you also begins to limit your life. What could be behind this fear? The fear of leaving home doesn't have a single cause. For some people, it may be related to social anxiety. For others, it may be agoraphobia, where the world no longer feels like a safe place. Panic attacks, the fear of losing control in public, the fear of being judged. Traumatic experiences that left a deep emotional mark. Or depression that makes even the simplest daily tasks feel impossible. Every story is different, but they all have something in common. Fear slowly convinces a person that the world is no longer a safe place. Reclaiming your world, one step at a time. When fear has been with you for a long time, it's natural to want to disappear from everything that awakens it. But constantly avoiding what we fear can make that fear grow even stronger. Rebuilding confidence rarely happens in a single step. Sometimes, it begins by learning to calm your mind before trying to convince it, by giving your body a signal that in this moment you are safe. And if this fear is already limiting your work, your relationships, or your daily life, seeking support from a mental health professional can make a meaningful difference. Asking for help is not a defeat. It's a way to begin reclaiming the space that fear has gradually taken from your life. A practice to begin. If leaving home feels difficult today, don't try to conquer the whole world. Start by reclaiming a single moment. Walk to a window or your front door. Take a slow breath. Observe what's outside without asking anything of yourself. Listen to the sounds. Feel the air. Now try to notice 5 things you can see, 4 sounds you can hear, 3 things you can touch, 2 scents you can notice, and 1 sensation, 1 taste, or even 1 comforting memory you can bring into this moment. Allow your body to discover, little by little, that not everything it imagines is a real danger, and when you feel ready, take 1 step. just one. Because many times, the journey back doesn't begin with a giant leap. It begins with the decision to open the door once again. Fear can make the world seem smaller and smaller, but your life is much bigger than what frightens you today. You may not be able to walk the entire path all at once, and that's okay. Sometimes reclaiming your freedom begins exactly where fear convinced you that you couldn't move forward. That first step, no matter how small it seems, is also a way of finding yourself again. Thank you for being here. If this message resonated with you, join us at Signs of Calm, your space to heal your body, mind, and energy.